If you find yourself saying like a whole bunch of like I am statements, that is a sign that you are taking a negative situation or a negative emotion and you are attaching it to your identity. Just because it's a negative situation or a negative emotion, it does not change who you are. Hey love, this is Alyssa, the mind behind Nouriched Soul, where we heal word by word. I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. We're going to be talking about how to control your mind from negative thinking. It is so important that you take control over your mind and not allow your mind to control you. Your mental health is so important. It flows into your physical health, your relational health. It is a big deal. So we're going to be talking about how negative thinking affects you as well as others around you. We're going to be talking about how to reframe your thinking as well as how to put a strategy in place for your mental health. So let's get into it. Effects of negative thinking. So as I said, your negative thinking, your mental health plays a huge role in about every other area of your life, okay? If I am mentally like just having a bad day, a bad week, or it's something continuous going on and I'm mentally struggling, I guarantee you that my body is going to be affected. I guarantee you that my relationships are going to be affected. I guarantee you that like my emotions are going to be affected. What I do is going to be affected. Finances are going to be affected because I make really bad decisions in general when I am having like a mental health moment. So negative thinking will affect all of the areas of your life. It is also like psychologically proven that constantly negative like thinking about things, it can cause dementia and it can even cause your immune system to get low. So if you needed a reason to work on your negative thinking and improve your mental health, there you go. Mental health is so important. There's like this common phrase going around in the health community, and that's the fact that you need to feel your emotions, and you do. However, you cannot allow your emotions to control you or to fester or to like cause you to kind of like freeze up, so to speak. You have to take control over your mind. You have to even take control over your emotions. It's okay to like cry and, you know, feel your emotions. Understand the shame, the rejection, the feeling of failure, whatever it is. It's not bad to feel that in itself, but it is bad if you're just sitting in it constantly and you're not putting anything in place to get out of that dark spot. Your brain is not supposed to stay in a negative thinking or negative emotion. Negative emotions are not bad in itself. Negative thinking is not bad in itself. It's going to happen, but you have to be able to take control of it. You have to be able to come out of it. So how can you reframe your thoughts? So reframing your thoughts is so important. And honestly, I feel like in order to reframe your thoughts, you have to think healthy about yourself or about life in some capacity. For instance, I could feel like, man, I'm just dropping the ball today. Nothing is getting done in my house. My kid is complaining. She feels like I'm not there for her. I don't spend enough time with her. I can take that feeling of like failure and I could start thinking of like, oh my God, like I'm not planning stuff well enough. I'm not showing up for her. I'm a bad mom. You know, I could start spiraling down. I can start having those negative emotions. I could look at my house and be like, oh my God, like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. But at some point, I have to reframe it and say, you know what? I understand what she's saying, and I feel like I can show up today for her by doing this. I feel really exhausted. I can't clean this house every single day. It's not in order. I do know that, but this is what I can do today. There's a way to like address your negative thinking, understand it, feel it, process, and then come up with like a strategy. It's reframing the thought. Instead of staying in the position of like, I'm a failure, I'm a bad mom, instead of staying in that feeling and like then I'm overwhelmed because I'm like thinking of all the other situations I didn't show up for, all the other things that need to be done, I will start spiraling out. So you have to be able to reframe your thoughts. When something comes into your mind, you have to be able to say, okay, what's a better way of looking at this? Like, yep, that happened, but what's a better way of looking at that? Just because something happened and it's negative and I feel negative about it, it does not equal something being negative about myself, you know? So if you find yourself saying like a whole bunch of like, I am statements, that is a sign that you are taking a negative situation or a negative emotion and you are attaching it to your identity. Just because it's a negative situation or a negative emotion, it does not change who you are. It does not change your ability. It does not change your identity whatsoever. For reframing your thoughts, sometimes we're putting pressure on ourselves on things we can't even change. If you can't change it, then what is the point of negatively thinking about it? There's nothing that you could do. You have to be able to take control of your mind and stop the negative thinking in that situation, because there's nothing you can do. Now, if it's something that you can do, you reframe that thought and think of it in a positive way, a strategic way. You acknowledge what's going on, you acknowledge how you feel, but you take the stance of like, it is not a reflection of me, of my identity. That's what I found I was doing. I was taking things and making it my identity, and it's like, what? Like, just because this is happening, that doesn't mean that like it changes me. Which brings me to my next point. How do you put in a strategy for your mental health? A lot of the times when we are at a heightened emotion or a heightened situation, it can be difficult to come down from that emotion and like make a plan or see right away that like, oh, this is something that I could change. When you are in that heightened emotion, if you haven't been watching your mental health, if you haven't been zoned in on that thing, if you haven't been doing self-work concerning that situation, it will be difficult to like out of the blue be able to talk yourself down. What I would recommend that you do is work on yourself by affirming yourself, speaking life into yourself. Because if you are, saying that I am a good mom, I am successful, I am in control of my thoughts, I do attract healthy relationships. If you're constantly doing that, when a negative thought starts coming in, it's going to be like, wait a minute, like, that's not normal. Like, that's not a normal thing for me. Like, wow, like I need to, capture that thought. But it takes practice. But once you like continue to do that, continue to implement affirmations, speaking life over yourself, doing your reflections to see what's your weak points, what's your strengths. Once you identify your weakness like beforehand, as soon as a negative thought comes in attacking that specific thing or specific area, you will be able to identify, oh, I'm thinking that way because of that. Another way to implement a strategy for your mental health is make sure that you're practicing self-care. Make sure that you're taking rest for yourself. Because when you're tired, when you're balancing way too much, when you don't have your anxiety under control and you're spiraling out, negative thoughts are going to be that much worse. So you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and like that could look like changing your diet, going to the doctor to make sure that your vitamins are checked, that your mind's okay, like your brain is okay. I know for me, like I started forgetting things. So I got an MRI scan done. I got my vitamins checked because like I just started feeling off balance. Like there was a lot of things going on. So I went to the doctor, and that's fine. Like at the end of the day, you have to be able to make sure that like health-wise you're okay, because that makes you more stable when something else comes in. Because with life, we're living in this world. It is not going to be perfect. You're going to have negative thoughts. You're going to have mental struggles. You're going to have battles that, knock you off your feet, and you're going to have to figure it out. That's life. But you want to make sure that you are doing what you can to make yourself stronger. It's similar to like your immune system, right? With everything that's going on now, basically everybody knows, hey, like I need to be eating healthier now, because if I end up getting sick or like my immune system is under attack, it's almost too late then. Like I have to make sure that I'm staying on top of my health in whole, because I need a defense system already in place. Like my body basically needs to be able to like stand up against whatever is going to come in. Like it's going to happen. Negative thoughts are going to happen. Negative stressors are going to happen. Life is going to happen. So you want to make sure that you're as solid and stable as you can be, to prepare yourself for life's struggles, because it is going to happen. You are in control of your mind. At the end of the day, you decide what you accept. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It's up to you to stand on what you know to be truth. Just because you are having a mental battle, it does not change your identity. It does not change who you are. You have to speak life into yourself. You have to do the self-work. You have to, go to the doctor, take the rest, learn how to deal with your mental struggles so that you are prepared for when life hits. And that is literally how you control your mind and stop thinking negatively. I hope this helped. I will leave some resources down below in my description box. Until next time, happy healing.